Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another Sims Info and Thoughts video. Nope, your eyes are not deceiving you. This is a new gameplay trailer for Discovery University. Really glad that we got it today instead of having to wait until Friday. I already suspect there's going to be a lot going down that day anyways, because there is that live stream that is confirmed to be happening at 11 a.m. Pacific time, and I'm guessing the embargo for Sims Camp will also lift that same day. So without further ado, let's get into the new trailer and all the new stuff that I noticed. So we now have a name for this sim from the renders, Julia Wright, and she's the main character here. And in summary, we follow her journey as she goes to Foxbury, and things don't go super well, so she switches over to Brightchester, but then she ends up hitting rock bottom. But then she takes out a loan, which I guess is an actual feature, because this is supposed to be the gameplay trailer, and then just turns things around. Though I wish it did include more of a detailed breakdown of how everything works, rather than it being more of a story, but oh well. I can't really change that, so yeah, you got the secret society, that's confirmed. I love the masks that can be seen. I definitely could use them for Alice, my witch from my Realm of Magic Let's Play, but better late than never. I also love how the robes look. I think the custom content community will probably also recolor them to look more like Jedi robes. I'm guessing this secret society meeting is still taking place in the new world of Brightchester, but it does remind me of Sylvan Glade a little bit, just less bright. Because I think Sylvan Glade, from what I remember, is always daytime, no matter when you go there. I also find it interesting that there's all these glowy dragonflies surrounding these Sims. I wonder if this is some kind of Realm of Magic tie-in? I don't know. They don't explain how you get into the secret society, but at least for this specific sort of feature, I can understand that. I'm sure they want you to figure that out for yourself, because it's supposed to be a secret. But anyways, let's get back to the beginning of the trailer, because I did start towards the middle. So here's the very first shot of the trailer where you can see what is Foxbury Institute. So this looks pretty small. It looks very concentrated. I can't really put a finger on how many of these buildings are accessible and how many of them are decoration. I still remember how there's some buildings in San Myshuno where it's like, oh cool, I can't wait to go in there, and it's actually just completely decorative. So I feel like this is gonna be a running theme where this trailer actually left me with more questions than answers. I guess they want to leave most of the reveals to the people who were invited to Sims Camp. However, I think there is more to this world than what we might initially think, but that's for later on in the trailer. So then moving on to the dorm rooms, I love how cluttered these are set up and are personalized to every sim, and I think there is quite a bit of new clutter in this pack, especially on the walls. And I freaking love this bookcase in this shot here that is literally being held up by cinder blocks. This is stuff that we need more of in the game, I think, because we already have so much clean and modern furniture from the earlier packs. I want more furniture that looks like it's very do-it-yourself or DIY and run down and just overall crappy, you know? Like, yes. More stuff that makes sense for Sims kind of just like living that life, that budget lifestyle. And of course, University is a perfect pack to do this for. I remember The Sims 3 University Life had similar sort of furniture, so I'm really glad that there's some stuff like this again. Also, I love the new single bed that we can see in this shot. There is also a new double bed that's different, we'll see later. But I especially love that there's a Foxbury swatch, and I'm assuming one for Brightchester. So you can just really go all out with representing what school you're at. Then the two students move into off-campus housing, which I think might be in a different neighborhood, but we'll get a better look at that later on. But wait, those columns! They seem to go higher than they normally can. So, what's really going on here? Well, we're gonna have to take to Twitter for a minute. As Simmerwell tweeted saying, "Do my eyes deceive me? 2-story columns added in Discovery University?" And then SimGuru Ninja replies with an Adventure Time gif saying, interesting. what? I don't know if that's actually how it's said in the show or if that's a typo there. But anyways, he later says, did we add two-story columns specifically? No. Did your eyes deceive you? No. So that's pretty cool. I guess we're getting configurable columns just like we did with configurable stairs in September. Speaking of which, you can actually see them on the right-hand side of the building there. But it looks like there's also new windows, both the ones with the planters and then there's the smaller ones higher up on the building. But now moving further on into the trailer, you can see a few more shots of the world, so I think this is a totally separate district from the university campuses. It does look like it could be pretty close to the Brightchester University, but it still seems like it's just outside of it. I'm guessing the Brightchester University campus is pretty small and concentrated just like Foxbury Institute. Unfortunately, we don't get a good overview shot of that campus like we did at the beginning of the trailer for Foxbury. Then after that, we have what is sort of like a soccer field, but not quite. I think it's just meant to be a grassy area with a lot of soccer ball objects set up there, and your Sims just juggle the soccer ball. But then moving on to that, we have some robotics going on, and I love how there's the two robots talking to each other, probably about trying to dominate the world, and then the Sim gets scared, and geez, just that animation of the robot just doing the wow. I feel like that's a lot more hardcore than what we would get by Sims 4 standards, because I've seen a lot of people say that, oh, the Sims 4 feels so tame in comparison to the earlier games in the series, and I agree. So I'm wondering if the team at Maxis has listened to our feedback about that and is actually starting to change things up a little bit, and if they are, I approve. I mean, yeah, just the head falling to the side really seals the deal for me there. It's not just doing the whole throat cut sort of thing, but yeah, it's just wow. That must have been an interesting thing to animate. And now we move on to the University of Brightchester as Julia makes her switch over and decides that debating is now her thing as a couple of Sims cringe in the background. We can also see quite a few bikes parked around, so I'm really glad that we can just do that instead of them being restricted to the bike stands like in The Sims 3. And well, we've already looked into the secret society part, so we don't need to go through this again, but we are about to see the new double bed. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, that's a pretty cute one as well, in my opinion. I also love the mirror that's leaning against the wall. I think that's new. I think we do have a mirror that's leaning against the wall already, but taller than this one. It's also worth noting that Julia says at this part of the trailer that she lost her scholarship, so that's a pretty interesting thing that should add more challenge to the gameplay too, and some actual penalties if you don't do well. And now we get to see most, if not all, of what I think is this third area that's separate from any of the university campuses. It looks like it could be a pretty large area because I recognize it from the announced trailer right here. But the question is, how many of these lots are actually usable? Because the one in the foreground there, yeah, I'm sure we can build on that, but yeah, I feel a little iffy about it. Julia then ends up joining a real study group, and one of the Sims actually has a kid, so that's pretty interesting because I don't think we've been able to do that in either The Sims 2 or The Sims 3. But then we move on to finally the official confirmation of the 3 new careers that are coming. Lawyer, yes, oh my gosh, I've been wanting a lawyer career for so long. That's one of the last ones I wanted. And then engineer and teacher. I find it funny that they make it almost look like as if all of them are active careers, but I doubt that's the case. I think it will be like City Living, where we also got 3 careers in that pack, but then they were all work from home careers, not fully active ones, like the Get to Work careers or the acting one in Get Famous. Personally, I would have loved to have teaching be a fully active career so you can play as the professor and see their life every day, but then I guess that would mean we wouldn't be able to get the other 2 careers. They'd have to be in some other pack down the line. And yep, you can prank the mascots too, as you saw that she did just spray the lobster mascot. Oh no, not Foxbury! And then we move on to the cafeteria scene, which is the final scene in the trailer. And you can actually see at least one new food. It appears to be avocado on toast. Heck yes. I do find this quite peculiar though, because we already got avocado as a harvestable with the Jungle Adventure game pack. So yeah, maybe it's just food that can be done like through the cafeteria, just like from the NPC. I don't know if we can actually make it ourselves, but I guess either way mods will come through if they can't be made at home. But if we can make it at home, then I guess the optional ingredient would be any fruit, so that it's base game compatible and that you don't need Jungle Adventure just so you can have avocado on toast. But overall, I like the look of this cafeteria. I'm glad that it is a playable area and not a rabbit hole. I wonder if we can temporarily work at the cafeteria like we can in The Sims 2 University. But as the trailer ends, there's still some extra dialogue from Julia that implies that you might still have some side jobs, including being able to play the mascot. Also, while she worries about paying off her loans, she says that they might take her stuff. So is they a repo service like in the older Sims games, where if you don't pay off your bills, then the repo man would actually come and take some of your stuff away? Wow, that's a surprise if that ends up being a real thing in The Sims 4. But in Strangerville, there are those government agents that can take away your possessed fruit, so I guess there is a little bit of precedent for them. But that's it, that's the trailer. So overall, I guess it was pretty nicely presented, but I feel it did focus a little bit too much on telling a story and not really showing enough of how all of the gameplay works, because I would have expected the trailer would have started off with a sim as a teenager applying to university and then getting into Foxbury or Brightchester and then going from there. But no, we just started off in university right away. So are there aptitude tests? I'm still not sure about that. Also, we did not see any playable classes. We saw a study group, but not a class, and that makes me even more worried that all of the classes are going to be rabbit holes, just like in The Sims 2, not like in The Sims 3, where you had a mixture of rabbit hole classes and some ones that you could actually see. And I did replay both The Sims 2 and The Sims 3 University packs, and while I did find the open classes in The Sims 3 boring, it's because there weren't really enough interactions, in my opinion. There wasn't that much that you could do. You couldn't gossip with your classmates, you couldn't pull any pranks. There was just a few interactions, like raising your hand and sleeping in class for a few minutes and scribbling notes, but none of them really seemed to do anything that much, and the professor didn't really seem to react. And actually, the first class that I played with, the professor never showed up. And as soon as the classes ended, everyone just immediately booked it out of the class. Like, didn't even stick around for a few seconds. I think the professor might have stuck around for just like a tiny bit. But everyone still left pretty quickly, and it just left a lot to be desired. So I would like to see that improved in The Sims 4, rather than being thrown away entirely. And that wraps up another Sims info and thoughts video, so feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. I am going to be doing another one of these later today because there is a blog post, but this video is already getting pretty long, so I figured just to keep things more organized, have that blog in a separate video. But be sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with my latest content from The Sims, Sonic the Hedgehog, and more. So I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!